Hey, how's everyone doing? I wanted to come on here and make another video regarding my life living in my car. In this video, I'm going to be telling you guys about my encounters with police officers slash sheriffs. Because last night I was sleeping, I had a encounter with an officer early in the morning, like at midnight. Yesterday I was Grubhubbing all day. It was Sunday. By the end of my shift, I was like really tired. I think it was like 7 o'clock, 6 or 7 o'clock. I've been trying to eat really healthy. I've been having digestive issues, and I think there's something wrong with my liver. Ultimately, I feel fine, but I know that there is some digestive issues, and I'm trying to take care of them. I pull in at like 8 something. I pull into this this hotel parking lot. I put 2 of my window blockers. Usually at this location, I put them all up, but at this one, I only put 2 of them up. Officers do patrol this area that I sleep in. I wake up at like midnight. I had to pee. Right when I wake up, I sneeze like 3 times. I'm very congested. My eyes are like watering like crazy. Every single one of my windows is fogged beyond belief. Way more fogged than they've ever been. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. I went to pour my cup of pee out. I open the door and there's an officer sitting up against the hotel building with his lights off. I'm parked in the parking spot and the hotel's behind me. Officer sitting like catty corner to the building. I'm like, what the heck? So I closed the door real quick and I set the cup of pee down rather than like pouring it out so he couldn't see it or smell it. He hits his light, the little spotlight. See him with his little flashlight come over and my window's like fogged beyond belief. Put the window down. He's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I was just sleeping. Like I was just taking a nap. He's like, where do you live? I told him where I live. I told him the address that was on my license and I give him my license. I give him my ID. It's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I was just taking a nap. He kept asking me over and over again, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm taking a nap. Like, what do you think I'm doing? And then he asked me if I was waiting on anybody, and I said no. He kept asking me where I lived, and I'm like, I live at such and such. It's on my ID. You seen it, right? He goes, well, I don't know if you still live there. I'm looking at him real crazy. Looking back, I'm like, first of all, why would you ask me twice? I told you. I don't know what officers see when they look you up. I'm going to assume he ran my tags. I don't even know if he looked at the address. Asked me if my car was registered in my name. I'm like, yeah. Like thinking to myself, like, why wouldn't it be? Actually, was so weird. Like, what are you about to do? And I said, oh, I'm probably just going to head home. He asked me again, like, where do you live? And that's when I was like, you seen it on my license? And he's like, well, I don't know if you still live there. I mean, I don't know what they can see. He left. I don't even remember what he said when he walked away. Weird thing about all this is my windows were like all fogged up. He was sitting over there and he didn't have his lights on. It wasn't until I opened my door till he hit his spotlight. I went to assume called just monitoring and seen something that he thought was suspicious. The thing is, you can't pull someone over or stop them because they look suspicious. Also, it's not illegal to be homeless. He kept asking me where I lived. I'm going to assume he probably knew that that address was no longer my address. What do you want me to do? Be like, oh, I'm homeless. Like, what are you going to do? Tell me to go to a homeless shelter? Like, the shelters where I am, they're not accepting people because of excuse me, accepting people because of what's going on. It isn't illegal to be homeless. It's not illegal in my state to live in your car. However, it is illegal. I want to think it is illegal to sleep in your car on private property without permission. I could have gotten in trouble for sleeping in the hotel parking lot. And I'm thinking if I would have done something wrong or somebody would have called, he would have already hit his spotlight and he would have been knocking on my window. But I'm going to assume he was monitoring, seen my windows were extremely fogged up, maybe walked over or ran my tags, couldn't see in, so he didn't know what was going on. I'm thinking that the officers have probably come through before. They have all my windows blocked out, like on the 3rd shift. They get off like early in the morning. Would have just went back to sleep. I'm going to assume he would have probably just left because, I mean, he can't stay there forever. He would have been off in like a few hours or whatever. He's like, you've been here for a while. Like, oh yeah, I got here at 8. And he's like, oh, 8? Like all shocked. So I'm going to assume he was sitting there for probably like 20 to 30 minutes, maybe 45 at the most, watching my car, which is kind of weird. And now I'm thinking that before they've probably come through and seen my car sitting there with the things, but because I can't see in, they probably don't do anything. If something looks suspicious, you can't stop someone because they look suspicious. Like that's not a reason to stop somebody. You can't get in trouble for that. In a way, he was wanting to look for something. Knew I was homeless, but at the same time, kept asking me where I lived. Like, even if I would have told him, what difference would it have made? That's my interaction that I've had with police officers so far and just people in general. I think I'm going to try to find better ways to kind of be discreet, or if I wake up, I'll probably just go back to sleep. So Just thought I would share this story with you guys because it was just with me because the officer didn't have a real reason to like do what he did. I guess he was bored. That's what it kind of looked like. Because I mean, if I was doing something illegal or wrong, I'm sure he would have been knocking on my window or flashing his flashlight. So I don't really know. I just wanted to share my story. So.